All right, we gotta take a big deep breath from that epic meal right there.
Epic is the best way to put that.
Yes.
I agree.
All right, let's start from the top.
Here we go.
Hey everybody, I'm Josh.
And I'm Rachel.
And tonight we are super excited to bring you to Toca Madera, the newest steakhouse here on the Strip.
Modern Mexican steakhouse.
It is between the Crystal Shoppes and Aria. And I gotta tell you, I'm a little nervous. If you saw our Casa Playa restaurant review, we're having flashbacks to it. So let's hope that it can live up to what we're setting.
I've been trying to contain my excitement for this one just because of that. But I'm gonna tell you what, as we've walked up, it's kind of hard to contain my excitement.
It looks awesome.
It does. Let's go.
All right, we gotta take a big deep breath from that epic meal right there.
Epic is the best way to put that.
Yes.
I agree.
All right, let's start from the top. The atmosphere is amazing.
Yeah.
I know, I wanna say I read that it was like a $10 million renovation. And
You can't even
my
tell
God.
it's the same place.
Yeah, so this is in the old Todd English pub, then the pub area, and it's freaking out of this world.
It's gorgeous.
It takes you to another place. You first enter through
I was gonna say the entrance.
like almost like a bird's nest kind of thing.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
And then you got fire. Fire is definitely a theme that they've got going on there. And then you go into a very small area which has the host area, and then you go into the bar. The bar is, I know when I first walked in the bar, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
And starting at the drinks.
They're so good.
We each had 3 drinks. I'm not gonna even try to pretend like I remember the names or what they were. I'll put those up on the screen.
I'll say I know I had 3 margaritas. I had a
different margaritas.
Yeah. Yep. 3 different ones.
I had 1 margarita, 1 strawberry infused mezcal drink, and then 1
actually really good.
very close to like a smoky old fashioned. I thought they were all great.
Yeah.
I had no issue with finishing any of them. They are not cheap.
Nope.
I will warn you, this meal was not cheap.
Not cheap.
This was a very expensive meal, but it was awesome. It was over the top. Don't regret any of it.
None of it.
So, first starter. Actually,
I was like, are you gonna say it?
I will say the other thing. So initially, I had thought that I booked myself for the dining room because if I can have the choice, I will always go for the dining room. I want to be a little bit further into the restaurant. I want to be able to get that feel.
Yeah.
When the hostess first tried to seat us, it was actually in a spot just off of the bar, but a booth. And so I actually asked if we could make sure that we could go into the bar
Dining room.
in the dining room. My bad. And she said, you might have to wait a little while. And we're like, okay. Literally 3 to 5 minutes later.
Yeah, we didn't even have time to like do much.
So we got seated in the dining room. The dining room is tight.
Yeah. But I think that's a theme. It tends to be a theme.
Yeah, and that is why, you know, if you've watched our videos in the past, typically we're talking while we eat. This was one of those where it wasn't the greatest for that, and we don't want to take away from the experience of others around us.
Yeah.
And so that's why you're getting this now. Chips and salsa.
First, they brought us chips.
They actually brought it.
Homemade pico. So fresh. Oh.
And when I say they actually brought it, it's, if you go back to our Casa Playa video, it was one where we had seen people getting chips and salsa. Some people did, some people didn't. We didn't. So we were all right, like, okay, this is beating Casa Playa.
1 for 1.
Yes. And then as far as our ordered appetizers, guacamole. What did you think about that?
That guacamole was so fresh. It's served with plantain chips. Now I will tell you, just my personal preference, give me the corn chips with the pico over the plantain chips. The plantain chips to me felt chewy, and that's likely how they're supposed to be. It just wasn't something I preferred, so I just used the corn chips for my guacamole.
Now, I did not think that they were chewy. They certainly are more dense than your average corn chip though, and so there is going to be a little bit of body to it. Also, it provides a little bit of sweetness, which the guacamole had some spice. Either way, I thought the guacamole was very good. I also preferred the corn chips, but the corn chips come. So,
yeah.
You know, it provides 2 different opportunities for you.
I think one of the coolest things that I don't know that I've seen on guacamole before had pomegranate seeds on it.
Yes.
That made it
so if you're looking at it saying, what is that?
tasty.
There was also sunflower seeds. So a little bit of texture. Our next was Queso Fondito.
Let me tell you, it was fantastic from my perspective. It was so cheesy, so gooey. But it was filled with mushrooms, and we did not know that.
So many mushrooms.
It didn't say that in the
It does not say it in the description, and I love the cheese. The cheese was ooey gooey, amazing cheese pulls. I'm hoping this got caught on camera. But
like my first bite, I was like, oh, Josh isn't gonna like this.
I made it mostly through my one, but then all of a sudden there were some large pieces that really got to me. So,
and those were served with flour tortillas instead of corn. They were very fresh. I don't believe they're homemade, but they were so
I think
really
they
good.
might be.
Really?
It's hard to say.
Okay.
I thought they were delicious though. Either way, they were very good.
Very good.
And I did like the cheese portion. Mushrooms now. Alright, what was next? Oh, fish taco. We did the sea bass taco. So their tacos come with 2 per order, unless, I want to say, I think the Wagyu actually comes with 3. And it's priced accordingly. I thought that the sea bass was very good.
It had a nice crisp to it, yes.
Yes.
Very nice crisp.
We were talking...
the crema was so good.
Yes. And it was a chipotle crema. So it does have some heat to it. The fish tacos were good. I don't think there's too much more. There's some like shaved radishes on top. A good flavor. Good fry.
Yeah.
Steak.
You know,
we got the steak.
I'm gonna say this about the fish tacos. I really enjoyed the guacamole and queso, and then my mind went blank because of the next dish, the steak.
Because of the steak.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, my mind is unsure where you're going.
Yeah, no, and that's what I wanted to say about the fish tacos. They were good. I'm glad you remembered we had them, because my mind was going straight from appetizer to that main course.
Yeah, and it's one of those where sometimes we'll say things are good and they're exactly as we expect them to be.
Yeah.
And they're not something that goes over the top. They were good tacos.
And likely
anyway,
not gonna remember.
Stop. Who cares about the taco?
Yeah.
Steak. 40-ounce Tomahawk Steak. We did do the upgrade with bone marrow. They bring it out, they hang it up, they light it on fire in front of you.
It's so good.
They have like a salsa verde, which then they put the bone marrow in, as well as some roasted garlic. He slices it in front of you. It is amazing. I'm sure I put the scene in if not right now. It was awesome.
It was so
and the taste.
Good.
What'd you think of that taste?
Oh, it was delicious. It had a it looked like almost too much of a sear, like a very thick char on it.
I think it's I can't remember what it is. There is something that they do to it that makes it look black.
Yeah. And I was a little nervous at first when I saw it.
Yeah, it's not because it's so overcooked or like burnt to crap.
No, not at all. And they bring out an extra side of salt. So I did a little bit of that. I love finishing salt on a steak, by the way. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, there were multiple times I'm like, just give me a minute. This is that good of a steak. Yes. It was that tasty. It was freaking delicious. I would do it again. Yeah. It is the most expensive steak we've ever paid for. Yeah. Or eaten. I mean, not that. Yeah. We haven't got any of these for free, so. No. But yeah, that steak was the most expensive, and it's got to be right up there with like a top 3 to 5 best steaks I've ever had. Yeah. I'd really have to take a look back in my life to figure out something other than this one. Delicious. Mac and cheese, we did do it as a side. We didn't need to do it as a side. Oh God, no. It was good. Ended up being a little bit grainy. The flavor was good, but the steak was show. Yeah, there's no reason to get it if you're getting that steak. You know, when you're ordering, it's really simple to think, man, I'm not gonna just sit here and eat a steak. I wanna have something with it. And I wish we wouldn't have. Nah, we didn't need it. Yeah. Because we simply sat there and ate the entire steak. Yep, and then after the steak, we decided to have a couple more drinks. They were delicious. Mm-hmm. And we got a birthday dessert. It is a churro ice cream sandwich. Which, the way that I was describing it is, if you've ever had Mexican fried ice cream, it's like a modern version of that. Yeah, it was really good. It's a delicious vanilla bean ice cream with the great cinnamon sugar churro. Great, exactly how you would think, like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, basically. Yeah, it was so good. Overall, I would call it number 2 meal of the year right now. And if you've been watching us, number 1 meal of the year, I call the best meal of my life. Yeah. And so that ain't saying anything bad. And that's wrapping it into everything, because our wait staff was on point. Yes. They were so good. The atmosphere was good. And it's kind of this cool piece I overheard our waiter telling the table next to us. The lady was going to order chicken, and he says, don't. It's been too dry. Don't order it. And we actually complimented him for us. Thank you for being honest. Yeah. And it was, he just was awesome. If you watch our Casa Playa video, that was actually one of the biggest turning points for us, is that we did order a chicken dish. It was extremely dry. It was not good. It was our waiter said, yeah, they've been struggling with that. They were undercooking it before, now they're overcooking it. Tell us, please, for goodness sake. Please don't let me order something that's bad. If you're in the service industry, tell the person what's good and what's bad there. Yeah. Like, we look to you to tell us these things. And we use that recommendation all the time. We always ask our waitstaff, like, what do you recommend, especially if we're not sure of something. So if it's bad, just... noise level. I will tell you, we got there about 7 o'clock, a little after, between 7 and 7:30. Our reservations were for 7:30. It was noisy at the beginning, but it wasn't overwhelming. You could tell as our meal progressed, it got louder. It got darker and darker for the lighting, and it got higher and higher for the music. But not in it wasn't a turnoff. No, like, it was weird. You know, that's been a critique of ours for Nusret and for Casa Playa, is that it was this loud club-like feel, which there's something about the fact that it rose while we were there. It actually did not bother us at all. No. And we don't normally talk to the people around us, but we were actually talking to people on both sides. Yeah. Three different people, yeah. Yeah, we ended up talking to both sides, and then one side switched out, and we even talked to them. So it didn't take away as much. No. The dining room is so gorgeous too, and then fire dancers. They have fire dancers. And a saxophonist. Like, there's a guy playing a saxophone. Everything's over the top, but it actually worked.
Yes, this place lived up to the hype that we put on it, and I can tell you it was a lot.
The other thing you wanted to talk about was how long our meal was.
Something to think about. It was 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
We did end up, it is very much spaced out in time for you to not be overwhelmed with all your food at one time. So if you're going there expecting to have an hour meal, you're probably not going to have it.
Nope.
Or if you are, it's going to be like one dish and go.
Mm-hmm.
So take that into account. We like that. We're fine with that. Other people may not.
Yes.
If you're enjoying our videos, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe.
You can also follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All our links are down below.
Thank you.